Welcome back to Canadian Disc Golf Productions. Today we are watching the second round, front nine of the SAW Open, the Summer at Winter Open. I am Chris Brown here with
Galen Naidu-Harris. Summer at Winter.
Summer
Love
at
it.
Winter.
And let's thank our sponsors one more time. Meal in a Jar, Proper Floors, The Crew Real Estate, Living in Brantford, Ontario, and discgolfdays.org. Thank you all for supporting the tournament and PDJ Canada too.
Yes, we are playing the Winding Woods, is what they call it from the longs.
Oh, Cody. I love it. Yeah, we're not winding in any woods right now, but we're about to be. And it gets dicey pretty quickly. So let's see how our competitors manage to survive the heat. Looks like Cam's going for a bottle of water. And the Winding Woods.
That is how hot it was during this day. It was supposed to rain all day, as you can see. Or no, you can't see because this is not current day.
As you'll see in a moment,
it is not raining.
It's
very hot. So Thank you to Proper Floors for sponsoring hole 19. So this is a unique one. I'm not sure how we're going to label it, if it's going to be 1 to 18 or 19 to 36.
Hey, I think we can label it however we want, Chris.
Okay.
Yeah, it's you and I in charge.
So starting
to tell us how to live our lives.
Looks like it's going to be hole 1. So they call it 19 on the course.
I say it's 19. No,
so
hole 1.
Yeah, we're going to call it hole 1 of Winding Woods.
Yeah, sounds good.
This one here plays, it says 341. I don't believe that it's 341. It's probably more like 360, 370.
Yeah, there's a pump from back of the longs.
OB left, OB right. It's one you just have to throw it far, and hope you make your putt, because it can get dicey.
Agreed. I don't think I've seen Cody play before, unless I'm misremembering. I didn't know that he was a lefty. It's always an interesting dynamic to have on the card.
Yes, indeed. This is the hole I would much rather be a lefty on, in my opinion, because the OB does end at a certain point on the left-hand side. So as long as you throw it far enough, you're in bounds. Versus the righty has to get the distance. You need to kind of flip it up and flirt with that OB line on the right. Sort of like this.
Yep, agreed. Looks like Cam's executed well, though.
Yeah, that's even safer than I think he was hoping for.
It's tough because you can see it now from this angle. That bush on the right side of the basket, if you're facing it from the tee pad, just hangs so much. Mm-hmm. It's tough to get something up to it that fades out at the right time to be right up in there.
Oh, Cam actually got all the distance he needed. That's actually fantastic.
Great. Yeah, I thought it was a little shorter as well.
Mm-hmm. And that must be Jake up there, the red one? Or is that... No, it's got to be Jake.
I think so.
Definitely a big throw. It says 341. It's everything you got, so I'm going to say it's a little bit more than 341. Nice putt from Cam to start off the second round. This is the second round on the same day, so everyone's a little bit tired, but...
Mm-hmm. Oh, Cody. Yeah, just a little leak out.
Gotta love seeing your disc there when you walk around that corner.
That's awesome.
Yes, wave to your fans.
I love all the waves to the fans on the coverage. And the Han cashes in. Oh, I love that. I was going to say something a second ago. I forgot that Thought Space jersey. It's one of my favorites. I like that that red. It's a nice sort of summery color.
Only 3 twos on the day.
That's kind of surprising.
Cam, and then Adam Beatty. Yeah, I figured that'd be a little bit more than that, but everyone would have played that near the end of their round, except for this card.
That's
and
a good point.
The heat and everything, I'm sure they just got tired.
Yeah, sometimes we forget is disc golfers are actually humans, and they're affected by the conditions and the day they've had. If it's a long day in the sun, trudging up and down hills, in and out of winding woods, I can see how you'd be a little tired when you're trying to execute that shot. This one's interesting. Hole 2 we have sponsored by Disc Golf Days Group Events once more. Thank you to Pat and his company. You've got some OB there on the left in the cornfield / there's no corn there, but it's still a cornfield. And I don't know if they've added a painted line or anything on the right. I know I've done that a few times today, but very dense. Mm-hmm. So it's not like tight, but it's still, you got to place your shot pretty well from back here.
Yeah, the optimal play is just a chip forehand to the middle of the fairway and then another chip forehand up to the basket and take your birdie.
I agree. I think you're ideally trying to land at the top of that first hill there. I don't know if that's a little bit ambitious, but I would think that, perfect shot goes maybe 40, 50 feet further than Cam's right there and just settles at the top of that first little hill.
Yeah, I think I agree. Yes, 100%. You would love to be on top of the hill, but then that comes into play.
Yeah.
If you get a little too greedy trying to get onto the flat, you pull the OB more into play. So why not just take it safe, play it into the side of the hill as
Nahan flirting with the OB line as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I kind of figured Cody would be a little farther up, but they would have seen best. So.
Yep, agreed on both counts. I thought he got a bit more, but they would know better than us.
Yeah, so this is a good second shot. A little short, in my opinion, but
Looks
still
like
20 feet.
Yeah, kept up that forward momentum up the hill, I think, a little bit. So,
if you have it again, just play the no will be right. So just play the the ace run, the 2 run. Try to drop it in the basket from here, and if you go into the bushes, you can still make your putt.
Yeah, I was about to express a bit of surprise there at Nahan going standstill, but he's got all the forehand power he needs, gets it right up there and gives it a run. Also, Jake gives it a good bid there too. It looks like maybe a little shorter. Yeah,
this hillside is steeper than it looks. Getting the run up, you just wouldn't have any pace or real footing to walk up this hill.
Yeah, I forget sometimes how steep this is.
Jake's the farthest one away, then we're probably pretty locked in here for a bunch of 3s and then a lonely 4 from Cody with his OB drive.
Yeah, I would imagine you're right. You did have that putt leak out on him, though, so he's taking his time, as you should, making sure this one is hearted. There we go.
That's it. Big correction. First one wasn't even a bad putt. It just, minuscule amount off. And
it caught lots of chains and just didn't stick to him.
Yep. Pretty standard hole. It's so easy to get your birdie here. There's no you could from the bottom. It's 390 feet from the bottom. Not 318. That's from the shorts. I'm imagining we got the U-disc numbers.
U-disc, yeah.
So whatever they said is what they said. But it's 390 feet from the bottom. So you could go for it. And maybe good look for a circle 2 putt, but it's just not worth it.
No, another one we're talking about your upshot, doing a lot of the leg work and not pushing too hard on the drive to make sure that you've got space to work with there for that upshot.
Hole 3, sponsored by Meal in a Jar. This is the Mando hole, as you'll hear it called a lot. That Canadian flag, the pole itself is a Mando. You must go left of it and then go down the hill.
That's right.
Down the hill to a basket tucked into the corner with a creek behind it that I don't think played OB. It may have played OB, but
it doesn't usually anyway. But yeah, it's you've got that Mando flag there, and then you've got I would say 150, 180 feet downhill. Bit of a dogleg right, trees the entire way once you're in the woods. You've got that cliff that sort of drops off. I mean, cliff is dramatic, but you've got a bit of a drop off behind the basket into
you don't
a
want
creek.
To be down there.
There's a lot to contend with here.
Without the corn, this hole is a lot easier because you can actually see the gap you're attacking. And the par 5 it being a par 5 is a little bit it's a little bit generous.
I would agree.
I would call this a hard par 4 over.
I would expect
Jake just came up short OB.
I think Jake stayed OB.
He's going to be throwing a second or third shot from right in front of him.
Yeah, I was going to say I'd expect this to average over 4, but not super close to 5. Maybe like 4-1, 4-2, something like that. But yeah, Jake just a little early as you have to tee off. Essentially, he's going to have to throw almost immediately. Help me, my words aren't coming. He's not going far up anyway.
No, he's going to throw a second shot and then still have to contend with that Mando. It actually played 5.15. A lot of people, I saw a few people come up short in the OB and like
missed Mandos coming up short. There is a lot of danger in the woods.
I think Nahan just did the same thing.
Yeah, he might well have.
My play here is I just take a flippy disc, throw it as hard as I can over towards the next basket, flip it up, and just try to crash the trees to the left of the. He maybe misses.
I think that's short enough that it might not have missed, but that is not a good spot to be, whether it's missed the Mando or not. Yeah.
That's missed.
Oh, that's a missed Mando for sure. That's tough.
Are they going to give it to him? That's the question.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to be rude or unsportsmanlike or whatever, but I don't think that made it at all. That one did. That one's good for sure. My play be similar to yours. I would actually take a forehand wide. I wouldn't go super overstable because I wanted to skip away, but just take something over the OB most of the way, and just play placement towards the gap if possible.
I'm thinking Cam went OB.
I think he must have,
because he's throwing from OB here. So
makes it to the gap though and kicks down it a little bit. So that's one of those ones where you're gonna have to sort of wait and see.
So he did not miss the Mando there. So yeah, again,
Good.
if you just crash the trees to the left of the gap here, you have a pretty simple throw. So I'm surprised to see people not taking a more aggressive approach and just trying to hit the trees and hit the gap or whatever. But
Yep. Yeah, I agree. I don't think you have to go too crazy on this. Just play towards the mouth, whatever way you want to get there. And, I wouldn't say straightforward by any stretch, but, at a par 5, it feels pretty attackable.
Did that roller get all the way down there?
I think it might have. I didn't see it check up.
Yeah.
It made it a lot of the way down at a minimum.
Yeah, the one mistake.
Nahan's not got much here on the right side. Oh, but finds himself a gap.
Yeah, it's tight.
Gets most of the way, but yeah, it's tight there. Doesn't quite find his way to the basket.
Again, the one mistake can't make, come up short in that OB, and then once you're in here, it's just luck. Like there's skill involved, but you need to get lucky to get it through the trees.
For sure. Yeah, I mean, if we're being honest, like you can't really afford to miss the Mando or come up short. And unfortunately, we've got a few instances of both of those on this card. It is a tough hole, but you're just looking to get something in play and then just fight your way down as quickly as you can, because sometimes it's going to take you more strokes than you imagine to get down this hill.
Did we see Jake throw from the drop zone?
I thought we saw him toss. Oh no, we didn't. Yeah, we saw him throw from OB near the cornfield, so I guess maybe they gave it to him.
Maybe. Again, they
or
would have
maybe
a
we missed a shot.
Yeah.
But yeah. Again, they would know better than us, but yeah, it looked to me like that was a miss.
As Jake is going to be tapping in his 6, so I'm assuming that's.
So let's see. He took 3 to the.
To the third shot was the one that we thought was the Mando,
and then 4 down the hill, 5 to there, and 6 in.
Okay,
so they must have given it to him, I think.
Yeah, we just missed it. We just missed it in our commentary. Yeah. Sorry about that, Jake. Not a tough hole. 6 is definitely something you're going to be returning, but a lot of people took bogeys or worse.
Yeah, and I'm seeing that somebody who is very familiar to me took an eagle here.
Yeah,
Mr. Chris Brown carding the lone eagle on the day. Must have been a nice 3. How did you draw it up? Actually, let us go to this hole quickly and then tell me in a second. Hole 4, we're going to thank Canadian Disc Golf Productions again, I guess.
Yes, indeed. That is CDPG.
Yeah, so that's what it is. CDGP. Aha, that's what we did. We got the letters reversed for sponsoring hole 4.
Yes.
But yeah, so how did you draw that last hole up to card 3?
As I said, just throw something flippy out to the left, crash to trees, it kicked me into the center, and then a forehand to the basket. So
beautiful. Short putt?
Yeah.
Nice. That's great.
This hole is difficult, to say the least.
It is. It's another one where, it's not particularly long, of course, but you've got so much to contend with. It's tough to execute this perfectly.
Mm-hmm. You got the little bit of a low ceiling with that branch there. It just mentally gets in your head. But you are throwing uphill. You do have to kind of... My personal play is a slightly flippy fairway driver on a hyzer that stands up the whole way.
Okay, I like that.
But it looks like they're all going for the lefty or forehand flex line, which is, I think, the safe line.
Yeah.
But I don't really believe it gets you there the whole way.
No, I don't see it.
Nice.
Nice reset there from Cam. Yeah, I'm thinking from if I'm thinking about my play from the shorts, it's typically like a mid from there. So a fairway from here for some folks with arms and quite a bit of hill makes perfect sense. It's a similar look at the shot, just like more to contend with.
That's perfect.
That looks great.
So this one also gets me because the perfect spot to throw from is the front right side part of this tee. So you have to kind of come from off the tee pad to on the tee pad, and that wood on the side. Ooh,
just beats that corner.
Gets lucky to get through everything.
Yeah.
The wood on the side is incredibly slippery.
Yeah, for sure. And then also, if you're throwing from there, I agree it's the optimal spot, but that low ceiling branch there, or like log, that comes into play as well.
Mm-hmm. Cody trying to get a forehand up there. If you get off the fairway here, you are struggling to find ways to the basket. Jake gets far enough up where it's not a problem. But you can see Cody had to really get creative in there to try and make that work.
Yeah, seriously.
See a big putt from him. Just a layup, not bad.
No.
Okay, so Cam's almost out of the woods. That's great for his drive.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Probably 30 to 35 feet away is my guess.
I think you're right. Oof. And Cash is in. Great putt.
Doesn't even jump, so maybe he was closer than I thought, but I'm going to give him the 35.
Yeah, he's walking pretty far. Feels like...
yeah, that's got to be it. As Nahan's putting from the same spot, so let's see if he jumps. Gives us a... Oh.
Yeah, we'll get to you in a second, Nahan. Yeah. Let's see this putt again.
We'll see this in slow motion. Maybe I can count the steps and tell you how far he was.
1 Mississippi, 2.
We got disc velocity here. We need a radar gun.
Yep. We'll get Wally on the calculations.
Frames per second, rotations. We'll get everything for you.
Yeah. That'll be next season.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And Nahan lining it up from a similar spot. Let's see if he gets big putted or if he follows the vapor trail.
There's no danger here. The OB is there, but from this angle, it's not coming into play.
Agreed. Yeah, it's a safe run from there.
Ooh.
And he does a little bit
Double
closer
plaster.
for comfort than Cam's, but cashes in.
From that distance, anything that hits chains is doing pretty good.
Totally.
When I first met Nahan, he was such a good putter. He's still a great putter now, but like his C2 putting back in the day was like, it was one of those
Deadly.
like, yeah, it was just one of those he just didn't either didn't know or didn't care and just sort of would just throw the disc at the basket and it would always go in. It was incredible
That's
to
awesome.
watch. Still a great putter now, don't get me wrong, but
Yep.
it's one of the first thing I realized about him was that he was deadly at C2.
Yeah, I noticed the same thing. I forget which tournament it was at this point, but he and I ran into each other for the first time during a practice round, and a few holes in, I was like, wow, this guy can putt.
Yeah. So the only other two on the day, aside from Nahan and Cam, is Ezra.
Nice.
Probably throwing some sort
Well
of
done,
putter.
gentlemen. And on to hole 5, we're going to thank You Enjoy My Designs, and I'm sure that I would enjoy their designs, as would any of us, though I haven't seen them, for sponsoring this hole. Thank you very much. This is not a particularly difficult hole. I wouldn't say it's quite a must-get. It's a little touchy, but you really wanting to attack this.
I don't think you're thinking on the same hole. This is one of the hardest holes I've ever seen.
Let me see this. Hang on. Oh, no. It's a very different look from the shorts.
Yes, the shorts is fun.
Well, from the shorts, you're looking right at it,
Yeah.
and at the distance it is from the shorts, it feels like it should be a must-get, but there's so much stuff in the way that like you're gonna have some weird ricochets and whatever. But this is a totally different like release angle and placement that I was thinking of at all.
I guarantee you, Cam just caught the center tree, so it's hard to get a good angle here because you're literally throwing at a wall of trees.
Yeah.
There is a nice flex forehand gap that Nahan has hit.
Looks like Nahan almost laces it. Yeah.
But he catches a tree. This one is very difficult. The shorts looks very fun, but the longs, you kind of just got to flex a forehand and hope to crash anywhere within circle 3. And
yeah, for me, the shorts is just a forehand or a backhand berg and just hope you don't hit something. But this looks very touchy from back here. I don't even think I've played this tee pad position.
Yeah, I've never thought of this as a lefty backhand because you're turning your back from it, and yeah, that's exactly what you'd expect.
Kick. Oh, the second kick sort of course corrects a little bit, but that first kick looked deadly.
And then this is where Cam hitting the second tree gets to, and he still has a tough shot up to the basket.
Super tight.
Only like 270 feet, I think, and it's difficult. That is
well executed.
Fantastic.
Wow. Yeah, especially, and we've talked about this in coverage past, but adjusting your release angle and power when you're throwing downhill is not easy with a touchy shot like this. Ooh. Wow, and Cody almost kicks in. What a 2 that would have been.
Jake got off to a rough spot here, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
As he almost
buzzes the basket. My goodness.
Yeah, you can get over there, and it's a big wall, so he must have just got lucky to have a gap.
Yeah.
Han's actually in not a bad spot. You can just easily lay this up, get up and down for the 3. So it looks like we're just going to get some stock 3s here. This is a hole that I really wish something would change on it.
What if you were, if you're like the disc golf god for a day, how do you think you would change it? I'm aware this is a pop quiz. If you don't know the answer, that's okay.
I don't know. I can't imagine without cutting down trees, because you definitely don't want to be cutting down trees all willy-nilly because you can never grow them back.
Well, I don't mind holes that are hard, but it feels like I like holes that you always have the option to attack, and I just don't know how you would attack this one off of that tee pad.
Mm-hmm.
I think whatever you do, just opening up some gap, even if it's like a really dicey one. But yeah, you're right. You can put trees in, you can't take them out, or the other way around.
No birdies on the day for that hole. Not unexpected.
Not
it's
shocked.
Difficult. We are down to hole 6, which is sponsored by Jeff
Mayusi or Mayusi.
Mayusi.
Apologies for butchering your name, I think.
Hard to see if that's an L or an I. I think it's an I. Sorry, Mayusi. This hole, there's 2 routes you can take. You can take kind of a backhand straight,
Out to a landing zone.
righty backhand, just skip it up the hill to the left for the easy second shot. Or if you really want to get aggressive, you can go for the eagle, take it down the right hand gap, and flex something perfectly. This is
Oh, I was gonna say those two, super thin ones can really get in your way. I don't know why. I don't know what it is about the thin trees, but I've hit those more times than I can remember.
Those guardian posts are perfectly placed. I'm assuming most of our card is gonna go safe out to the. Oh, never mind. As Nahan, Nahan tries for the Annie flex shot and gets kicked to this between somewhere in the middle of both options.
Yeah. So what are you throwing to get to that left zone? You thinking just like a fairway hyzer, mid hyzer sort of thing?
I go Firebird.
Yep.
Straight and then have it hit the hill and skip away left. I find the farther left you are, the better. This is actually going to be.
Yeah, that looks great.
Assuming that makes it through everything, that's in the perfect position for the forehand second shot there. And I think Cody's doing the same thing. Yeah. Oh. Okay.
Looks like he gets away with it.
Almost.
Ish.
If he was up where those two trees are in the middle of the fairway, he would have a great shot. Here, it's going to be kind of dicey.
For sure.
I mean, it looked good, so.
Yeah, it looked like he hit his gap, and this is one of those ones where you got to, execute well, but get a little bit lucky, too. Looks like he might have.
So, yeah, if you can get up and down where that GNR sign is.
Yeah, you're great. You
have an easy shot up to the basket.
Nahan's actually not got that bad of a look. I mean, you flex a forehand. Like, if I'm looking at this, it's not good, but I thought it was going to be bad.
He got into the middle, so it's not too bad, but I guarantee you that...
Flick roller that just keeps rolling.
That's fantastic from where he was. I've been there before and taken a much higher number.
Yeah.
Look, this is where Jake's drive got to. Is he jump putting?
That's wild. He's jump putting for 2.
That is something else.
Wow.
And that's not going to be close.
That might have been a semi-favorable kick. I'm not sure. Lucky it was going to fade out pretty hard.
Yeah.
It's not going to be like close, but I think he'll be in an all right spot.
It's tough to say, but
agreed.
At least he's not in the trees, because if you run this basket and miss, you get into those trees behind, and you can have no putt out if you get unlucky.
Super jail.
Okay, so this is where Cody's second shot got to. Pretty lucky, in my opinion, if he didn't get off to a great shot, but easy up and down for the par.
Mm-hmm.
Just got to take it and go. And Hans roller. I mean, he could have got a lot luckier with this but doesn't look like he's getting it.
Oh.
Oof. Did that roll away again? Oh, okay.
I think he'll be all right, but that's more distance than you want for your comeback.
Yeah, and that's part of those trees where I said that if you get into them, you can start getting into some danger about
100%.
Being obstructed.
Yep.
Oh, he's got a gap.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he's got to look at it for sure.
Maybe a low ceiling, but...
Yeah, that branch does look kind of low, but I think Nahan's got the... Never mind.
I think maybe the low ceiling, not being able to pop it as high as you'd like.
Yep.
Unfortunate for Nahan. That was...
Yeah, that roller as an upshot, it looked like was going to be his saving grace, and it just kept traveling.
Yeah, and then 3-putting it.
Yeah.
Not optimal.
Well, and each of the putts that he missed sort of having some extra challenges. I mean, putting downhill and knowing it might hyzer out, and then coming back up with a low ceiling with that branch there. Tricky.
Mm-hmm. Hole 7, sponsored by, thank you, The Crew Realty. Thank you, The Crew Realty, for sponsoring Hole 7, or 25 on the course, if you want to be there.
Yeah.
This one, it's not 200 feet. It is 250 feet, and it's very uphill. Super there. You can see the line you need to hit, but then hitting that line is a different question.
And also the basket is so close to the edge there that if you don't hit it perfectly, it's easy to skip and get just a few feet off, but with a bunch of obstacles between you and the basket.
So this, in my opinion, is either a very flippy mid-range or putter or fairway even, and you're just trying to throw it flat or a little bit of Annie and just have it drift right, and that is a common mistake.
Yeah.
Trying to throw uphill on an Annie is very difficult.
It's tough.
That's why I kind of like to go the flippier route, because you can just throw it like you would a normal flat shot, and then the disc will do the work for you.
Yep, makes sense to me.
See Cam trying to pull that one over on the Annie. It's a difficult hole. It looks like it's not far. It's just getting it up that hill and Annieing, and then Cody can just throw a hyzer. I don't think you can get there with the hyzer. You can't get parked.
Oh, that's tough. I don't think you can get there to a park job with the hyzer for sure.
You'd have to get lucky through some trees. See if Nahan can. Nahan's got pretty good angle control on his turnovers.
Yep.
And he does it. Yep.
Looks great.
A little low. He'll have like a 50-footer is my guess to the basket, but nothing. Hey, man, that's
I'm sure there are some much longer looks off the tee than 50 feet, so you're not super upset about that at all.
And as Jake and Cam got kicked off to the left, and they are struggling just to get back to the fairway.
Seriously. Contending with a lot of the same challenges as you were off the tee, but now you're taking your second shot. No fun.
Mm-hmm. As Cam does.
Executes very well. Buzzes the chains there, and looks like he settles down. We'll see when we get up there.
Jake for his 3. Jake's still 2 down on the round, not doing too bad.
No, that's not bad at all. Oh, loses the hat, and looks like he slipped a little bit there, maybe.
It's possible. Didn't look comfortable, that's for sure.
No. Nahan finds himself a gap. Yeah, looks like maybe 40 to 50.
That's a tough one. He's got probably nothing. Yeah, he's just trying to get that next to the basket. You can see why this is so difficult. You need to flex it perfectly. You need to have the line perfect. Jake from distance for his 4.
Wow, that's no fun. Coming uphill with trees in the way.
Oh, no.
Oh, I hope that didn't roll. Okay, it didn't. I was going to say on the side of that hill, I was hoping that didn't roll too far. Looks like it didn't.
This is no gimme for his 5 either.
No, not at all.
This hole can get away from you quickly with those hills and the trees. I don't really like to talk about myself too much, but I had a birdie putt, hit the cage, rolled away, ran the next one, missed it, rolled away.
No.
So I know their feeling when it gets rough.
Yeah, it's easy to take a big number here.
Lucky, Cody got a little lucky to get through to the a great spot and holding himself up from falling inside the circle.
Yep. Cashes and
demonstrates his
prevents
balance.
The foot fault prevents the foot from faulting.
Yeah. Definitely saw him sweat a little bit there, but great too, as you can see the facial reaction. He knows how close he was to getting penalized there, but legit, great shot, great hole, good 2, 1 of 2 on the day with Kyle Grutenbohr.
Nice. What's Kyle's relationship to Greg?
They are cousins.
Yes. I mean, I figured they had to be related somehow. There's not many Grutenbohrs out there. Awesome.
Yes, they are cousins. Kyle plays primarily out of Caledonia, La Fortune.
Cool. Yeah, well, Greg's great people, so I'm sure his cousin Kyle is too. And nice to see him get it too on that hole.
There you go.
Onwards to hole 26, also known as hole 8, sponsored by Peace Bridge Disc Golf. Thank you guys so much. This is not like crazy difficult, but again, just touchy.
It's a generous par 4.
Yes. If this is a par 4, it's a generous 4. I was going to say it's touchy if it's playing as a 3 to get there for a look.
It is doable, but it has to be a long putt. There's no way to get to the basket realistically.
Yeah, because it's so far up, and then it's tucked a little bit sort of to the right once you get up as well.
So the fairway driver kind of hyzer flip up down the right-hand side so that it still penetrates up the hill is my preferred play, and I'm assuming that's a little too much hyzer as it kicks left. Yeah,
I don't see anybody that's throwing right-handed taking a different line though. It's just sort of a standard like fairway backhand.
You'll see some people try to flex there, but that's just to get to the mouth and then throw up for your 3. This is perfect.
Yeah, that's great.
It's a little too overstable in my opinion.
I think it got to the mouth though. I think he should be in a good position.
He hit the front tree of the mouth. If he went around that tree, he'd be in great position. He's still going to be fine with a long up shot for his tap in 3.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's early.
Jake's kind of wheels are falling off a little bit here.
He's finding a bit of a rut here in the I was going to say the middle, but more towards the end of his day. And what's the word I'm looking for? One of the signs of a great disc golfer, somebody who's great at anything, is how do you get the wheels back on? And comes back with a great shot there. So let's hope that continues for him.
Still got a lead, so nothing to sweat too much.
Nah. But a couple killers like Cody, Nahan, and Cam on the card, you got to keep your foot in the gas.
Interesting choice with the roller. I don't hate it. I just don't think...
I wonder why he chose to go roller and not like a forehand or air shot.
Yeah, or even just like a skip shot or something like that. I'm assuming he's a smart man. He knows what he's doing. Ooh, my goodness. Nahan tries to drop that one in from distance for the 2, the eagle.
Yeah, wow.
But yeah, the roller just
Yeah.
It seems a lot of room for error.
No, hey, Cam's way better at this than I am. But yeah,
too.
it looked like maybe he was pinched off for a backhand skip shot. But I wonder why he chose to go with that roller instead of airing out a forehand. Yeah. There's something overstable that would flex a little bit, or just something that would ride. But
I know the spot. I know the spot very well.
He knows more than I do.
I know the spot very well, and that tree is right in the middle of his throw. There's almost no running it because that tree just blocks everything. It's maybe 3 feet from the basket.
You can't. Yeah. Cody uphill step putt, almost sticks. One chain, edge of the basket, and doesn't want to stand for him. And Jake connects there. Believe that's for his. Is that for his 3 there? Either way, we got some nice. It's nice with a long and sort of semi-tricky hole like this to have. Not quite tap-ins, but to not have a lot of work left at the end of it, as these gentlemen do. You do all your work, hopefully, on the way getting up there, and then you don't leave yourself too much on the putting green. Mm-hmm. And they don't. And we see a couple of tap-ins here.
I'm just looking at that. Was for Cody's too. When he chained out there. Yeah.
Wow.
That took some time to look that up and be like, because he got way up there then.
Yeah, he must have blasted that forehand. Yeah. In my head, I was like, he must have had an upshot. Yeah. I'm just forgetting about it.
Yeah.
Holy.
That one got me, but great shot, Cody. Good 3. Same in the great 3, hitting the basket for the 2.
Yeah, and on to the last hole of the front 9 of the Winding Woods. We are thanking Proper Floors for sponsoring this hole once again. Yes. You guys are awesome.
Thank you for sponsoring the tournament. Hole 4.
This one looks a little tricky. I'm trying to picture what it's like from the long tee pad.
This one is, I think the best play is, if you have it, is a really power flex forehand, something a little bit overstable on a bit, or maybe a lefty backhand would work great too. A little bit overstable on a bit of an Anheuser, and he slips. You can see his back foot kicked out there. He definitely stepped on the wood.
Yeah, now that I'm seeing that short tee pad sort of directly in line here, I'm thinking, forehand flex shot is what I go for off of that. That shorter tee. Yeah,
so you can go power a little bit of ante on something overstable, and it can flex all the way. I've seen it go all the way to the basket, but it's a tight gap. You can see it right where his disc landed, actually, just to the left. Cam has this type of shot, that overstable flex, so I expect big things out of him, but don't want to jinx him.
I always do, and I will also try not to jinx him.
Oh, he throws it into the ground.
Still finds himself in pretty solid position, but certainly not the execution he wanted there.
The backhand here is doable, but it's more of a layup. You're just trying to get it. I was
going to say, it's tough to attack with the backhand.
You're just trying to get it like this.
Around that corner to somewhere that's vaguely safe.
That's perfect. It's just...
Looked like it might have kept riding, but due to no fault of Jake's, it's a tight area that you can actually land in safely. Mm-hmm. And I could be wrong. I think maybe he might have carried down a little bit into the thicker stuff on the left.
If you get too far, it's just a flex forehand to the basket. If you got into the perfect spot, which that log up there is what I would call the perfect spot, it's a super easy up and down for your 3.
Yeah, you're not...
This is a part of a stretch of holes that has just gotten ridiculously difficult.
I love those kicks off a tree when you just kick it in such a way that it accelerates the spin of your disc and just keeps riding. Nahan gets one of those sort of favorable kicks, keeps rolling towards the basket. Should be in a good spot. Had a similar look, but just didn't quite get over on it, and then a very unfavorable kick.
I'm wondering why he was stretched out like that. I'm wondering if he had to get around a tree.
It looked like there was a tree that was not super evident in the coverage here, but just based on nice scramble out of there. Just based on where it was relative to him, I think there was something that was sort of blocking his shot off a little. Wow, so Jake winds up in a great spot if that's his drive. That's incredible.
Yes, this is his drive, and
that's fantastic. And runs it from there and just about puts it in.
With the backhand kind of just float shot. Heiser.
Yeah, if we're looking at all the shots that we saw released, I wouldn't have guessed that the backhand, quote unquote layup, would be the one that would yield the best look. That's great. But again, we were talking about how you bounce back, and it's a couple of shots in a row where you're seeing a great recovery from Jake after a rougher stretch. Okay, I'm lining up a straddle. Gives it a jump. Oh, and bites a little chain, but doesn't stick to it. And now Jake coming back for a 3.
Nice 3 from Jake. this hole finishing exactly par. Probably equal shot people who hit the gap.
That feels about right.
Equal chance people who hit the gap, and equal chance people who didn't hit the gap and got punished terribly.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that sounds about right. I don't see any, like, a 2 would be a miracle. Jake almost made a miracle happen. I don't really see any, like, 6s. It just feels like 3s, 4s, 5s.
Yeah. I could definitely see a 6 there if you get off early and then don't get back on the fairway till the end. But
true. Yeah, I'm just saying,
at this
not
level,
that it's not possible. I don't see that happening a ton with this field.
Yeah, at this level, I don't think that's really what's going to happen.
Yeah, well, we see our folks here connecting for their putts and finishing off their front nines relatively solid all around.
Yeah, that was the front nine of the Winding Woods, and you can see, at least for the last 4 or 5 holes.
Them woods definitely be winding, Chris.
Yeah. So Jake regaining his lead or re-extending his lead, 7 down. Cody Nahan at 5, and Cam squeaking in at 4 down.
All right, so still pretty tight. Let's thank Meal in a Jar, Proper Floors, The Crew Real Estate, Brantford, and DiscGolfDays.org one more time for your sponsorship. We appreciate it. Mm-hmm. And I guess we'll be onwards and upwards to the back 9 of the Winding Woods.
Yeah, it does not get easier from here. I'll tell you that.
No, yeah, some of the toughest holes still ahead, and we're 27 holes in.
Yes, indeed. So more woods, gets into the open for a couple holes, but then the heat kicks in and
more woods, more winding. Great times to be had by all. We'll see you there. I'm Galen Naidu Harris. Thanks for joining us.
And I am Chris Brown.